Hey everybody, it's Amy Wood coming to you live from my house where I want to give you an update on what is happening with the situation involving, the Georgia shooting suspect. We have just learned from CBS News the father has been arrested, charged with involuntary manslaughter and some kind of charges related to the son. You may have seen earlier today, they released the mugshot of the son. This is a look at him. He was arrested. I'm going to actually take this full. He was arrested and charged immediately after the shooting in Georgia, where 4 people were killed after a gun was brought to school. Authorities say this is the gunman. He's a 14-year-old. They're charging him as an adult. He was charged today with 4 counts of murder. And now we are just learning through our sources at CBS News that they are saying that indeed the father has been charged in relation to this case. Now, here's the details of the charges. So the father of Colt Gray, the teen suspect in the Apalachee High School shooting, has been arrested by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the GBI. And Colin Gray is the father. Okay, Colt Gray's the son. Colin Gray, 54 years old, is being charged with involuntary manslaughter, second-degree murder, and cruelty to children. So these are stunning charges and developments, as you can imagine. This is a story that 7 News is following oh so closely. And WSPA.com has much on this, as you can imagine. I mean, we have been just staying focused on this story for you guys, trying to stay up to date with all the developments. We had a conversation on TikTok last night and some of my Facebook folks too today about some of the cool things that happened in terms of the way the response was triggered with these cool new technologies, these IDs that the teachers were wearing. But right now, the focus is on culpability and accountability. And you've got a father who is facing serious criminal charges tonight. Let's go back over those charges. There they are again. This is from CBS. The father of Colt Gray has been charged. This is Colin Gray, 54 years old, involuntary manslaughter, second-degree murder, and cruelty to children. So we're learning a lot more potentially about maybe some of the whys of how this might have happened in this community. But it is just stunning, honestly, to be in this moment where we've got a father of a teen gunman, accused teen gunman, who authorities say was the shooter in this crime, a 14-year-old kid who they had talked to when he was 13, and they talked to this father as well. And they brought that up in the news conference, which should have told us that they were looking at evaluating the situation from a very accountable standpoint. But they have arrested the father. He is facing charges. I'm assuming we will get a mugshot of him later tonight. But this will be a case that is looked at and studied to figure out the wheres, the whys, the motivation, the history of what happened to this kid, and not in any way to take away culpability here if he indeed is convicted of this crime, but people want to understand why these things happen, and this may be a case where we start to learn more about that. But oh my gosh, my heart goes out to the families. I can't imagine if you're in Georgia, if you're in this community, if you are someone who has been touched by this violence in some way, whether you were scared by it, experienced it, witnessed something horrific, just cowered in a corner, scared if you were in the school system, or God forbid, you were a family member of someone who was lost in this. 2 teachers, 2 students, 2 14-year-old kids gunned down at school. So this is a big development, a big story that we're going to be following. I just wanted to make sure I jumped on as fast as possible to get the word out to you. Again, it's a major development. Share it with your friends and colleagues. Tag some people who you think would want to know about this development. But we have parental accountability in this case, where the father of this young man has now been charged with involuntary manslaughter, second-degree murder, and cruelty to children. This is the father of Colt Gray, the 14-year-old suspect in the case in Georgia at Appalachia High School, where 4 people, 2 teachers, 2 students, gunned down at school, 9 others injured, shot in some way, and taken to the hospital and dealing with the aftermath of that experience. Just thinking about all these families that are impacted, and wanted to make sure you knew this new development, because this is major. And we'll be following up, and there'll be more and more detail coming out about this throughout the evening. So make sure you're staying with 7 News. I see AP breaking news right now that he's been arrested. So the AP has just broken the story as well. But I wanted to be sure to get on and let you know that CBS had this early. Our correspondent from CBS, Mark Strassman, is so talented, and he is from based out of Atlanta, a veteran reporter. I've worked with him on stories in the past. He's just a really great reporter, and he was able to break this news just a while ago on the CBS Evening News. So I'm happy to let you know this update so that you have the ability to share it with your friends, let them know that you heard it from 7 News and from me. And I'm seeing News Nation now breaking the story. So we were first to bring it to you here in the local area, I believe. And I'm glad to be able to be that person that brings you the important stories. And I hope that you guys will share with friends, invite people to follow my news updates, and we'll stay up to date on the major things that we care about in this area, which I know school safety, we care about that. We all do, right? We've had kids in the school system. I have kids on college campuses now. I mean, I have people in vulnerable places and cities and places that can be targeted by this kind of gun violence. And so, yeah, we hope that somehow out of tragedy can come some fresh and new understanding about how these things happen, how to stop them. Let's hope that they can learn something from this case. But you've got a father here, 54 years old, charged involuntary manslaughter, second-degree murder, cruelty to children. And his son, the 14-year-old, is charged with 4 counts of murder tonight. So stay with 7 News, stay with me. I'm Amy Wood. I thank you for tuning in. And I will bring you the very latest developments as soon as we have more on this story. I'm headed to TikTok Live right now, so if you want to join the conversation over there, join me on TikTok. We're going to be over there probably for quite a while this evening discussing this latest development. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you, guys.